Welcome to Arthur Brown Photography. Today I'm looking at shooting some fairly cramped interiors. This is for a client who wants photographs of the insides of some derelict houses with a view to them being renovated for residential use. So the rooms are quite small, which actually presents a bit of a challenge for the photographer to try and get the whole room in. With that in mind, I've got my full frame Canon 5D Mark II and a super wide Irix 15mm f2.4 lens today. Because the light's fairly poor in here as well, and I want to shoot at fairly small apertures to get good depth of field and sharpness, I'm using a tripod. But because room is limited and I want to get right back into the corners of the room, I'm actually using the Siriu video monopod with feet, so I can actually get right to the edges of the room. If I was to use a big tripod, obviously with the spread of the legs, the actual camera position will be more into the room. Let's look at the equipment now in some more detail. As I said, I'm using the Canon 5D Mark II and the Irix lens. So this is the Irix 15mm. And then to support it, I'm using the Siriu monopod with feet. Because I'm doing fairly long exposures, I've got a cable shutter release plugged into the camera as well. Now the Irix lens is a manual focus lens. Right, I'll leave the video monopod for a minute to stabilise because they do wobble a bit for still photography. I'm using the cable release. Take a frame. And that was about 1 second exposure. Yeah, that's okay. I've actually got the aperture on the lens set to f18 so I can get good depth of field and sharpness. And I've just got that set on aperture priority, so the camera is setting the shutter speed, and in this light, which is not great in here, it's exposing at about 1 second. This house was actually used as the headquarters of a cycling club at one time, before it was let fall into dereliction. And as you can see, there's some old cycling photographs on the walls. Although this is a manual focus lens, the camera does give me a beep for focus confirmation, which is helpful in here when the light isn't too good. And I've got the camera right into the corner like this. So steady now, I'll take another shot. This house has suffered from some flood damage as well, so a lot of the plaster work is fairly poor. So I'll just do some close-up on that just to show the state of it. Again, this does wobble a bit, so I'll let it settle before I actually press the shutter. Because the light is quite poor in these buildings and coming from the windows, and the light's quite strong from the windows, I'm actually overexposing the images in the camera by about 1 stop. just to compensate and to allow a bit more detail in the shadow areas, which I can then pull out in post-processing. This house had been actually used as a youth club at one time, and it's actually two houses knocked into one. This one is in a better state of repair, been decorated in some pretty vivid colours, and there's a fair bit of rubbish around. But again, I'm going to photograph it all. My client actually just wants this for an internal report, so we're not looking for huge file sizes. Now I do need to email them, so I'll have to make the final photographs reasonably small so they can email without clogging up too many people's servers. But I'm actually still taking the pictures in RAW format, although I'm using the smallest RAW size file on the camera. And the reason for that is really so I can bring out more of the detail if needed during post-processing. And then I'll reduce the file sizes to smaller JPEGs for emailing to the client, so he can put them into his report. Anyway, so I'm now in the kitchen area of the youth club building, and I'm just going to take a shot here. So in here we're at about 0.4 of a second, and I've still got my one-stop overexposure to compensate from the bright light from the windows. I'll take another one in this direction. And here we're at 0.6 of a second at f18. Isn't that some of the best toilet wall art you've seen? So I'll get a picture of this. Unfortunately, once the house is converted back into residential use, this lovely bit of art will disappear. Again, this must have been a computer games room at one time, because there's a couple of old games consoles and a very old, huge television left behind. But again, some weird and wonderful artwork on the walls. To record for posterity. Right, that's finished our photographic work for today. I'll going to finish off by posting some of the images now they've been post-processed and ready for sending off to the client, so you can see the final results. So I hope you enjoyed it, I hope you found it informative. Please don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Please look out for my next video.